Fight Night Podcast. Hosted by The Plan, Zash Man, The Victorian Brother, Brutus, Valentine, and everyone's favorite man all up in smoke, Duarte, the Punch. Ladies and gentlemen, they're ready to rumble, so let's go to the studio. Take it away, Zash Man.
All right, here we go, boys. Episode number 8. We've just brought Claudio on with us today. He's part of the panel.
Guys, thanks for having me.
Check out Claudio. He's a bloody statue in
Yes. Yes, I am a model. Look at me. I am a model.
Then I should make a figure of myself, right?
Yeah.
I should go for it.
He's the Italian stallion. Brutus, Duarte, how are you?
Not bad
Thank you,
yourself.
Mr. Flash.
You fired up?
Of course. Is that your the Hogan's behind you that you just sold out quickly or no?
Here they are.
You're frozen, man.
I'm frozen.
Yeah. Are you? Is he frozen to you guys or no?
No, I see a move now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to me, he's frozen.
Maybe you should turn some light on you, Duarte, because you're in black. You've got no light on you.
It's nighttime, and this is the room I'm in. It's bright. It's not a bright light.
Bright lights. It's not Gremlins.
And it's because the cabinet. I'm right beside the cabinet, so there's no lighting here, so it brings darkness here.
You should put lighting, LED lighting. Have cabinets like that downstairs. No,
too much.
no, I have that because I used to collect superhero statues, and I have lighting in those cabinets, but in my basement.
Nice.
Hey, guys.
I saw a guy's cabinet set up a few months ago, and he's got all this neon lighting all around on Instagram, and he's been working on it for months. I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry not to be able to credit it, but it's fantastic. It's like going through this big entranceway.
I didn't see that, but yeah, no. Some people have good displays with like lighting and stuff. I haven't done that yet. That's for sure.
I can see.
That's what I like. Not yet, so it's coming. It's coming.
Who knows, right? It's winter here, so that might be a project of mine.
It's winter here. What the one day a week that it isn't. One day a year that it isn't, sorry.
It's true. Well, a couple months, not bad.
I was chatting to Claudio backstage when he first came on. I went, Claudio, I should have known the name, Claudio, the accent. So what, you're from France, are you? He goes, no, I'm from Italy.
Didn't you pay attention in school, Zash? It's Quebec City, isn't it? Is that the proper way to pronounce it? Quebec?
Quebec, yeah, exactly. In French, it's Quebec. Ville de Quebec.
No, it's a beautiful place. I'd love to get there. I was watching a TV show on a railway journey across, and I was telling Duarte, I've only been to Vancouver, and I wanted to go across to French Canada, but the person was staying was said, "Oh, you can't. Right? It's too cold, and they're all crazy there anyway." So
we get a bad rep from the rest of Canada, but it's not so bad. I mean,
no, that's right. And such a great lineage of wrestlers coming from there and wrestling history too. So, and of course, we won't mention Dino.
He's a good wrestler. Who cares?
Do we have many wrestlers coming out from Italy?
Bruno Sammartino is probably the only one that I can think of.
Right?
Oh, well,
He's from there?
Come on,
Well,
Zash, Australia.
Bruno, yeah, he's straight from Italy.
Well,
He's like he's what we would call off the boat. I mean, he's an immigrant from Italy. Yeah.
That's right. Do I need to read from the start of King Kong Bundy's profile?
Where is he from?
He's not Italian.
No,
King
but
Kong
look,
Bundy?
This pattern was repeated through March 1985 as a trail of opponents is squashed by Bundy's Avalanche and Big Splash. Paul Roma, Joe Murdo, Tony Gurria, Aldo Marino, they all feel the wrath of the big man who has a seemingly insatiable appetite for devouring Italian.
There you go.
Australia's most famous wrestler Mario Milano was Italian, of course.
Oh,
I thought Outback Jack was Australia's famous wrestler.
What?
Did you say? You said who was a famous Australian wrestler? You just
Mario
said?
Milano.
It's not Outback Jack.
No.
I don't even know the other guy.
Nathan Jones was Australian, right?
Who?
Who?
Nathan
Aus-
Jones, that huge 7-foot
Oh,
bald guy.
that big, yeah.
Yeah, it was big, but too bad he didn't make it. But that was a massive man.
It's a typical Australian name. So Claudio, we were chatting also backstage about your customizing. Yeah, being Italian, I'm wondering if you've got any artistic background, because we're certainly seeing it. You've only been doing it for a few months, and you're really producing some excellent pieces.
It's it's a lot. It's pretty funny because my families they're all into carpentry. So I used to work there in the summers when I was a teenager. I guess the artistic side is, I don't know, part of my DNA, or I have no idea. I used to like to draw a lot when I was younger. I started off with dinosaurs, and then would draw people. Eventually would draw a hockey player, of course, Canada, draw hockey players when I was in elementary school. Then went to superheroes. And so I used to, since I was, I think, about 7 or 8, I used to draw a lot. So that's where it kind of all started.
And what's your favorite costume you've done so far?
I think I was telling Duarte, it's really hard to pick a favorite one. It's like picking a favorite child. Which one's your favorite? I don't know which one was my Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's good. I would have to say, if I look, I would say probably Mr. Perfect or The Crush I just did. Those two so far are the ones that I love a lot.
Yeah.
And and this one I'm working on right now. I think I showed you the Vader I'm working on with the hand and everything. Fun. This one's gonna be one of my favorites too. That's actually one of your heads, Zash. So if you remember this one here.
Oh yeah, yep. I haven't even made one of them yet.
No, this one was fun to make. It's fun to make too. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to making one of them. How do you find with doing manipulation of the arms and doing different action poses?
Yeah, how do you do that? Like, how do you do the hand?
The hand. Well, this one here. Well, yeah, I took our CD arm. Then I was talking to Amit Verma, and we cut the arm. I cut the arm and then put a nail to fold it in place. And then this is a Bundy hand, so I just cut it in half and cut the fingers off, and then just puttied the glove around it, and I was able to make the kind of V-shaped hand.
So when you slice it, the hand already stayed like that.
Well, I had to slice it and then cut the fingers off and actually put them in the milliput and in the epoxy with a needle, so it would stay. It's actually stayed with a needle. I didn't just glue it, put a needle, and then insert it there so it wouldn't move, and then just epoxied around it, the glove. And I don't know if you could see the inside of the end too, the way it was. So that's what...
You've done hand sculpting there, which is a great thing for me. I love that kind of thing. I thought you were going to come out and say someone 3D printed the hand for you and sent it to you, but you've taken the hard road there as a customizer and done it all yourself, which is quite admirable, I think.
Thank you.
Any problem with 3D printing? I think it's fantastic. It's the new age, but I also like seeing the old school style of sculpting and doing stuff like that yourself, because hands, they're not easy to work with. They're really not easy to work with.
And that's the challenge, because I like to use hands from other wrestlers to make some of them, and then you run out of hands, right? So you have to figure out what to do. So whatever's left over, I have a basket of what I call my casualties, of all the heads I've cut off, all the arms I've cut off. So I go pick from there and see which ones fits best. But you're right, the hands are the challenging ones. Like even the pallbearer that you've seen a couple weeks ago, the one to the actual the Hearn, that too, I didn't know what hand to pick, and I think it was Albano hand that I was using, but it was too fat for the pallbearer, and it just so happened that I had some I won't call them scrap, but old WCW figures, and I picked one from there, and it turned out perfect. It's just being creative. That's the fun part I like about doing this, is just being creative about it. Yeah,
doing new stuff and everything like that. Which what becomes quite tiresome when you're doing carded figures like the series I've done. I'm doing the same thing over and over and over.
No,
and
not really, because you look at the Hogans you've done.
They look amazing.
Different. I'm just saying the process is quite okay. I've finished 4 figures, fantastic. That took me X amount of hours and days. Now I've got to go back and do them again. and then you got to do them again, and you're facing a real challenge to yourself because it's not something that you're finding refreshing or even challenging. It's challenging in a way that you're doing something and you've got to really push yourself to be strict with doing them. But doing new stuff is what all of us customizers love doing the most, is not knowing how it's going to look at the end and not knowing how it's going to turn out.
True.
So to stop me from babbling on right now, because I get like that, we're going to shoot off to life hacks with Brutus, and then we'll speak to Claudio a little bit more.
So we're going to... Okay, here we go. Everyone's favorite time. Guys, keep sending in those letters. Thank you very much. Right. This week, Mick Barrelin of Grease Fat, Arkansas writes, "Hi, LJN Life Hacks. My wife says that what?
I'm just, this is the first time I've seen you laugh at your own joke.
Hey, I didn't write this. This is
Oh, it's not a joke, sorry.
Michael Barrelin of Grease Fat, Arkansas. Hi, LJN Life Hacks. My wife says that when I die, she's going to dig a big hole in the backyard, throw in all the LJNs and set them on fire. Good riddance. So, what advice have you guys got to help me plan what to do with my collection when I'm gone?"
What do you reckon, Claudio?
I would say it's like what people do when they leave all their fortune to their dog. Just write it in the will to leave it to someone, and that's it.
I think Mick Barrelin doesn't have any children. So that's
my wife is the opposite. My wife is like, whatever you collect is my investment for when you pass away. So,
yeah, and
so
perhaps we could give a slight insight into some of this.
Never seen Brutus's collection. That's a nice one. Almond on card.
Oh wow, that's wow.
This is one of my fears that you've touched on here, because if I die,
it's a dark show, man. If I die,
if I die, what will happen to all this stuff? Will my wife just get rid of it, not knowing what's what? Because I don't tell her how much I pay for some of this stuff. I don't want her to know that I paid, $300.
Yeah, but in 30 years, I don't think a lot of this will be worth that much money, because the niche for the people to get it, it's not there. Like certain stuff will have its value up to a certain time. After that, it's just pure nostalgic, right?
That's what I was wondering. I was thinking
because
about
you think about all the Elvis Presley stuff. Like, it was always a hot commodity to get. Now, like, that generation doesn't give a shit about that. So all that there's no point. It's just like these figures. Like, if people are looking to make the money, now is the time, right? But if you're just keeping it forever, then no. Like 30 years from now, I don't think these figures will be worth anything.
Come on, Brutus, you were just about to show us all your collection.
Yeah,
I just
one more thing. What do you got? Show us your favorite little thing.
I don't have favorites.
Oh, look at that ass. That's nice.
That's nice.
Is that one of the hardest ones to get?
Yeah, that's one of the hardest ones to get. Yeah.
I just saw when Brutus brought out this 2-pack of the Heart Foundation. I can remember when I was a child, I think either those ones or Jake the Snake were the first ones I got. And,
fantastic.
And I buy beaters and everything to make the customs. And I think I got a pair of Killer Bees. When I opened it, somehow that rubber smell was still there from the original one. I don't know how that's possible. And it's just, you remember that kind of smell. It's
people talk about the smell a lot. Actually, which brings me to a point, and we might have to do this on a show one time. I have this, terrible carded.
Oh, let's smell it.
Right. Maybe
save it for a show, or do you want to do it now?
Maybe we'll do it on the last show of the year or something.
Okay. All right. Well, how can you share the smell with everyone?
We'll see it on his face. We'll see the emotions.
Well, I don't know. We have to ask Duarte because how does he share his smell with everyone? But we can still get the essence of it.
You know what? It's not only the smoke though. We hear some awful noises coming from Duarte's camera.
Really?
Yeah. Well, remember that episode you did a big fart?
That was just the first episode. That was the first episode. I just did one of those. I just lifted.
Yeah, you linked as well. You did the old.
I didn't think it was going to be heard. Except you're like, what is that? And I just kept on
One
talking
thing
like nothing.
To go back to the letter, I suppose one thing that would happen is if there was an announcement that someone died on the forums, I reckon after about third or fourth message, it'll be, is the collection for sale? Can I get
100%.
the half edition? Can I do this?
I think you're absolutely right.
The moment someone posts something and they're saying, I have to sell my collection, boom. If they have to sell it for a certain reason, people message right away to sell it. Like I said, right now is the time to buy. But if you're holding this to make money in 30 years, the money won't be there in 30 years.
I'd like to get everyone's thoughts. Comment, guys. Let's see your comments. What do you think? Do you think that there will be any value at all? What do you think? You guys tell me. We've got some messages here. We've got Jason Frugia saying, finally able to find this stream. Yay. Well, good on you, mate. Appreciate you finding us. Every customizer has a box of putty. Yeah, they do. Every customizer has a box of parts, right? I've got a box of parts. Everyone does.
I've got your box of parts.
Yeah, I sometimes send them your way. Heads. Have you got some heads? Do you need some more heads?
I haven't done anything with them yet. I'm still bloody writing books.
What
are you going to do with those?
He doesn't know.
What are you going to do with it? Glue it all together on like a Bristol board or something?
No,
he's going to make
some heads. I might have to try and paint some heads for some of the figures needed for the other books, but I haven't got around to that yet.
Yep. Well, speak to the guys on the LJN Elite Customs group. Claudio might be willing to make some that you need. Caleb, he's ripping out plenty of customs at the moment. He's agreeing with my comment on saying it's very challenging because Caleb also does a bunch of figures that he did Macho Man and a bunch of other figures that he makes a certain amount of as well.
Yeah.
So he feels my pain. So it's good to have another guy that understands.
But yeah, it is nice to make new figures all the time, right?
Yeah,
painting them as well. Because just this past week, I was just painting Todd Tomeo's customs that he sent me, and I just finished doing this one right now, Tiger Mask.
Oh,
nice!
okay.
Oh, nice. That's the fun part, making new figures all the time. I mean, I can make the same wrestler different poses. Like I've got 2 Macho Mans I made.
Right, and there's also like Gorilla Monsoon when he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
It's good seeing the evolution where we're getting into new characters now. There's some people who just make bloody 4 different Hulk Hogans or something like that. But to see Tiger Mask, and we had Inoki and different things, and Claudio has some dynamic poses with the pallbearer with the Undertaker, and so people are actually starting to take it to a new level as well.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Comment. Let us know. What do you guys think of the 3D printing? Do you like using actual LJN parts or even sculpted parts that come off certain LJNs and mixing them together? Or do you like a whole fresh thing like Sin Bodhi's doing and like Todd Tomeo's doing, where they're making a figure that's got no LJN parts at all? They're just making it from their head, but making it LJN style and size. What do you guys think? Let us know. Comment. Do you like the parts being used from LJNs, or do you like a whole thing being fresh? But in the meantime, let's shoot over to Come On with Duarte.
With all the crazy things going on in the past and present, we have a man who will tell you exactly how he sees it. Come on with Duarte the Pot.
I hate when you put the camera on me so close up. Well, me and Ash were talking about the worst thing we're talking about is when someone posts a picture up and go, hey, I just found these. I found this in my shed. Do you know how much this is worth? They're just trying to fish people to send them messages right away to try to get the most out of their money. Anyone today in the world could go on the internet, go on eBay, find sold prices and see how much a Hulk Hogan red shirt costs, instead of trying to ask everyone in the group, hey, does anyone know how much this is worth? Because at the end of the day, they're just trying to fish private messages to get the most bang for the buck. Come on, do your research.
So, Duarte, tell me, what happens if it's an item that isn't on eBay, and what happens if it's an item that can't be found anywhere?
That's different. That's different.
Know the value. Does it hurt at all if someone knows the value and they're going to tell them the value of something?
No, that's different. I'm talking about if they're specifically, and I'm talking about only the LGM form because that's the only ones I'm part of, right? If you're asking for a regular figure, that's one thing. But if you're asking for like a piece of merchandise like the WWF bag, right?
Come on, ask him a question about this. Shoot him down. Come on, shoot out. Come on.
You're not going to shoot me down. If it's an LJN, then you should know the prices. And if you don't know, go on eBay and check sold items. But
Brutus,
if you're asking for like,
can you smash Duarte with his come on? Have you got anything?
You can't. Come on, just skip this and go to the next one.
It's unique. You can't. Yeah, exactly.
All right, Duarte.
What do you think? What do you think, Zash? What do you think?
I'll meet you in the middle. All right. How about we say that you're not allowed to ask these questions if it's on eBay or you can find out the prices. But if it's something unique that you can't be found and someone might know it, ask the question. Is that
exactly? Like if you know those WWF duffel bags, like I don't know the price of that. So if someone were to message it, I would want to know how much that is worth too, right? But if you say any other figure, everyone knows the price. Come on, just go on eBay. Everyone in that group knows it. You're just trying to fish all these private messages and hoping and just gonna pick the guy who sends you the most money, and that's who you're gonna make the sale to. And a lot of groups don't allow those.
Is Duarte right or is Duarte wrong? Should people be able to ask how much is this worth? Yes or no, guys? Let Duarte know because right now he is adamant that it's a no-no.
I have to admit, he's got a good point. You can find pretty much everything on eBay, and the ranges are usually pretty much the same.
And and I'm talking about eBay to look at sold items, right? Mm-hmm. Not just what people are, because anyone could post anything for like 200 US, but it's what people pay, right? So you guys see what sold item looks.
Hey, Jason's saying, "Come on," is my favorite part. He's liking it.
What was the other comment?
He loves a bit of banter.
I always found it interesting when I was doing the deep research on the pricing part, and in the book didn't put in prices, just put in a relative value because I didn't want the book to set the market because you know, that wasn't the intention at all. But on one group, you get someone legitimately say, "I just found these in my basement. How much do you reckon it's worth?" And you get a bunch of names. Oh, $50. They're all just Then you look next day on another group. That person who said that said, "I just got this for $50. This is worth $1,000." Just remember, the devil talks out of both sides of his mouth at the same time.
True. Very true.
I think we've all got a guy that we ask. A couple of the Aussie guys asked me, even the US guys asked me prices, and I'm very bad with prices. I don't know prices. If I've got something, I usually ask Rob Care or someone, Brutus. I don't know. I'll ask someone myself. So, guys, if you ask me, you might get the wrong price.
For me, definitely going to get the wrong price with me because in Canada, we find them so cheap. So when someone tells me a figure is like $100, I'm like, no way, I can find that for $40, $30. I'm not. So my prices are always going to be cheap just because I find it cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think prices are what they are. So I don't I always think prices are way too expensive just because I find it cheap here. You know what I'm saying?
If
like
I get
selling. What?
Well, if I get one of your customs and I ask how much is this worth, because there's none on eBay, is that frowned upon?
Pardon?
If I get one of your customs, can you hear me? If I get one of your customs and there's none on eBay and I ask how much it's worth, is that allowed?
Yeah, because that's different. That's a one of one.
And what do you think that would be worth?
Whatever the person wants to pay. Whatever the person wants to pay. That's
Well,
basically it.
I think that's
It's
true.
whatever the person wants to pay at the end of the day.
I think that's true because I tried to get a figure once and the guy gave me a price. I'm like, okay, well, I'm sure someone else will pay for it. I mean, it depends what the person's willing to pay for it.
That's a funny thing for people to say, though, isn't it? Like, are you ever going to put an item up and say, whatever you guys want to pay, here it is? You know?
Well, no. If you're selling
you tell me.
No, but if you're selling a custom, you're obviously going to put that figure out there and you're selling it for that price, right?
Yeah.
Like a custom is a different thing. I'm talking about like a figure that's already been made, like a regular Andres.
It's more shit stirring, really.
Really? Well, you got it stirring good. But at the end of the day, like if you're selling your own figure that you've made, you could put it whatever price tag you wanted, right? And then if you're even selling another figure, you could put whatever price you want. At the end of the day, it's whoever pays for it. If someone buys it, good for you, right? But I always find figures cheap, so I always like waiting for the hunt, and I'm always going to find that figure cheap.
There's some really good guys on the forums who do sell figures about 50% of what the retail would be on eBay. And, you know, they're the best bet. And another thing that can be annoying is people who take from the community all the time and sort of try and protect the information and not let anyone else know. But, you know, it's like you've got to give as well. But when I was getting the carded figures in when I could afford them, I'd pay more because it was about, if you're paying that much, you want someone who's going to package them well, right? And because they're going to have to travel, generally they're coming from Canada, going to have to travel all the way down. Like I still don't have a proper carded Bruno. I've got two like this. This one he just put inside, it was just like a satchel, and it came and it's all apart. And so I got a second one, and it was a similar thing happened. So I actually still, guys, I still need a decent Bruno. So what does he smell like? Meatballs. Oh no,
you must have got a lot of shipments coming from Canada with mental cards.
Claudio said he came fresh off the boat because that's actually quite a racist statement, and it's not very.
Well, I'm Italian, so I guess being Italian, I can say it.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
I don't know if I could, but let's say I can.
I'm allowed to call Brutus an Aussie bogan.
There you go.
What is that?
Whatever that means. But I'm sure.
Aussie bogan. He looks insulted, actually. You Aussie bogan.
You fucking calling me a bogan? I'll fucking do you, right? You fucking don't call me a fucking bogan. Yeah, and you fucking Ponte bloody nostrils.
I'm gonna Google that after see what that means.
Right? Just because you got teeth, right? Fucking knock those teeth right out of your fucking mouth.
Aussie bogan is a real rough sort of talking Aussie with a lot of slang, and usually they're from certain parts of Australia. But not always. Not always. But it was an interesting thing you said about how in this day and age, I think we're sharing a lot more information as customizers. Going back even a few years ago, everything was hidden. I remember going back quite a few years ago, people wouldn't even tell you what body parts they used on a custom. Everything
but remember, it was trial and error for them, so they had to learn. Everyone had to learn that sometimes, right? Sometimes you can't give away all your secrets because people got to learn because you wasted a lot of money and time that people need to learn as well, right? Like a lot of guys won't share secrets because, you know, they spend thousands of dollars and lots of time, right? So they'll give a little bit, but I understand how people wouldn't just because they took a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? Some guys share more than others, but it doesn't really matter.
I think a lot of that stuff comes from casting and molding as well, because that is a very expensive trial and error thing to do. Back when I was learning, I had no one telling me anything. Well, actually, I tell a lie. Nick Hales told me a little bit about it, and you know, he got me sort of started into the whole thing. But apart from that, I didn't really get any information off anyone. So it was a real trial and error thing, and I did waste a lot of money in it. But I think with customizing it as a whole, I think we are sharing a lot more information these days. You just have to look at the custom hack segment on the show. We've got customizers coming on and just sharing their secrets. I can tell you this week we've got Sin Bodhi sharing a tip, and next week we've got Joe Gaddor that's sharing a secret that is, has to be heard, because I can tell you, mate, Joe's becoming a very open book with his tips, and we need to listen to a lot of what Joe says, because it's very, very, very good information.
That's so true, because he was on a few weeks ago and he gave a trick for the eyes, right? The eyes I used to go blind making with a tiny paintbrush, but then he gave the toothpick trick and I tried it and it's so good, so easy. I mean, and that's what I was telling. I was talking to Kevin Pelkey this week, and on this group, people are so willing to share that you can ask, you ask, and if they answer, well, then fine. And so far I've asked because I've been relatively new, and I mean, Duarte gave me some tips. I've spoken to you as well. A lot of people just give tips, and no one's really hiding any tricks. Or I find it's really fun to be part of that community when people just give their tricks, or when you ask them what did you use and they detail it for you. It's like, wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a whole new generation. Definitely, you guys have to tune into next week's show, even if it's just for the custom hacks, even if you don't like me very much or Brutus. But watch it for Joe Gaddor, because it's a great tip. But how about we chuck on Simbodi's tip? Should we go to custom hacks?
Yeah, might as well.
Let's do it.
Are you a customizer? New to the game? Or looking to learn some new moves? Well, join us as we take you behind the curtain and backstage with Zashman. Ask him questions. Learn all of his top secrets as we give you custom hacks with the plan Zashman.
Hey guys, this is your Warlord of Weird, Simbodi, here in my office in my home. Not in my toy shop, but I'm in front of my computer. And Zashman had asked me to do a little how-to video to contribute to the LJN page. So here is my little contribution. I'm not going to show you any painting techniques because I kind of just treat that like a caveman. I'm very impatient, so I do a lot of things very hastily and very MacGyvered. But my big lesson of the day is something I'm going through right at this exact second. You just heard my computer kind of doing some stuff in front of me. So as far as the 3D printing goes, I was just designing a bushwhacker on my 3D sculpting program. And my computer froze right before I saved the file. So my lesson for you today is: don't suplex your computer or any of your other stuff when it's not working. Try to enjoy the journey, not the destination. I may or may not have suplexed or pile drive or clotheslined a computer or a laptop or 2 or 3 or 4 in my time, but I'm trying to be nice to this computer and just, again, enjoy the journey and not the destination. So, as I reboot this MFer and get it all figured out and so forth, I will keep you apprised and you will see the fruits of my labor soon enough. But anywho, I hope this is useful to you, so don't get angry or frustrated, just finish the game. All right? Wherever you are, be safe, be smart, be kind.
I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm reading into that video. I reckon that's priceless, because I'd hate to be Simbodi's computer, because I reckon that he
Don't
just
suplex your computer.
I can tell you he's going, I can tell you, don't bash your computer. Yeah, the fucking thing. He's an animal. I can tell you. I watch that video again and again. I've seen that about 4 times, and I can see his eyes as he's saying, he's trying to stay calm. He's trying. I reckon he's on. I'll give Zash a custom hack. You wait, the bloody computer. Don't get angry. I can tell you. I piss myself laughing every time.
As his computer's turning on, he breaks that one that he's using.
I love Simbodi. He is a beast. He really is a beast.
But he is right about a thing. Enjoy the journey, not the destination, because what I found is you need patience for a lot of them. When you do those dynamic poses, I've started some of them 3 or 4 times over just until, and I think you mentioned once you're your own critic, so people won't see the defect, but you will. So you start over all the time, and that's what you enjoy getting there. Once you get to the end later, like it looks amazing, but it's remembering everything you went through to get it there. That's the part that's actually satisfying. I find he's right on that point.
Oh, he's right in every angle.
Actually, I wouldn't disagree with him. You're right.
I think it's a matter of do as I say, not as I do, because it's easier said than done. I've got
to have fun with doing it.
Experience, but I'll tell people, don't worry, relax. You know, if something goes wrong, it's not a big deal. You can redo it. When something goes wrong for me, I can tell you, stuff goes flying. I get angry, but then I'll tell people, stay calm. You know, it's the best way to be. It's really hard when you're working on something and something goes wrong. I've got a thing. This is my thing. When I'm working on a figure, I'm very close. I'm holding on to the figure with my hand. I'm using my little finger to balance. I'm doing a lot of detail this close up, and sometimes my fat will collapse into my rib, and I'll go blotch on the eyeball like that or something. It's a stupid thing, but it's unexpected things like that happen, and it just infuriates you. You worked for so long on this little thing, and then the details just gone.
Yeah, but you just gotta have fun doing it, right? Like yesterday, all I did the only work that I did was I did these orange lines, and that was all my work from yesterday, and I was happy with it. I'm like, I finished the figure. I didn't even want to start another one. Just zig, and I was happy with that.
So how did you do it, Duarte? Did you use tape or was it freehand?
I'd use a paintbrush, orange paint, as I was watching a show, and did a couple coats of orange, and then I just continued watching it. I'm like, I just like how the figure looked. I didn't want to start another one, and I just had fun just finishing that one off. If it's becoming like a chore and you're not having fun, then you got to step away and then just have fun doing it. If it becomes a chore, then it sucks. Like all my figures that I've done, it's all about having fun because I want to do it. Sometimes I'll watch a soccer game and the paint will dry with a brush because I just forget about it because I was getting bored so quickly.
And does it happen to you guys that you work on a figure at night and it looks so awesome, then you go look at it in the morning like, oh man, what did I do? And you have to start over. That's the part that happens a lot to me, actually.
And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it looks terrible at night. I put it away. I come in the morning and go, wow, what was I worried about? You know, daylight gives such a different perception to lights in your house or lack of lights or anything. Daylight just really. Yeah, and a fresh eye can also make a big difference. You know, sometimes I'm on the figure for 3 hours painting away, and my eyes are just over what I'm looking at, and everything looks bad to them, you know? So.
And my other question, and I need to know this, when you guys work on a figure, do you have the theme song stuck in your head until you're finished? When I was working on that Dusty Roads, I had that cowbell the whole time stuck in my head.
I often have that, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. I doing these Hogans, I haven't stopped singing the theme song. I'm so tired of hearing the theme song. I walk around the kitchen just singing a Hogan, intro, and I'm copping backhanders now. She can't even look at the commercial that I did.
I actually watched it last night, and the Hogan song is what hyped me up to seeing that figure. The figure was already awesome, but then when the Hogan song comes on, and I went to see Hogan when he came here to the Comic-Con Montreal a few years ago, took a picture with him and everything. It's just the energy that he presents when he walks in with his song. It's wow.
Yeah. It puts a chill down your spine.
Yeah.
And the slamming Andre part was just, for me, I'm so glad that got in it.
Some people call it a hip toss, though, right?
It's right. I've heard that.
It's an awesome hip toss.
Some people I call it a body slam, but some people will call it a hip toss. And the guys that call it a hip toss are the Macho Man fans. That's how it is.
Come
so
on.
True. Well,
there you go, Bruce.
What do you think, Bruce? Was it a hip toss or was it a body slam?
It was like a rolling beetle, I think.
I don't
remember
understand that.
Lord Alfred used to say everything was a rolling beetle.
Never heard of that.
That's not because soccer game. What's he talking about? Someone else read this. Go, Brutus.
It's from Jason Ferrugia in Australia, and it was in reference to Duarte said sometimes he watches the soccer and then he has a look and the figure's dry, and Jason said that's not because of the soccer game, that's because of the smoke.
Yes.
And the other comment about said watching soccer is like watching paint dry.
I wouldn't know who wrote that.
All right, well,
here
let's
are the results. Scunthorpe 0, Uckfield 0, Celtic 0, Glasgow Rangers 0, Notts Forest 0,
Notts Forest, that's my
Villa,
team.
0, Manchester City -1, Manchester United 0.
-1. Get out of here.
And then of course, riots in the crowd, 74. No, it's the world game, and you're traveling overseas soon, aren't you, Dwight? To catch a bit down in Rome.
No, not anymore.
Oh, don't remind me of it.
Don't remind me, because of where I was going. There's literally last weekend they went into just crazy lockdown, so my trip got canceled because what's the point of going there when everything is closed? I'm going to go there, sit in a hotel. Come on, that's a waste of money.
All right.
Just pisses me. But don't get me riled up about that. I was supposed to leave next Wednesday. Don't piss me off right now, Brutus. That's the wrong time to ask about my trip. I'm all rattled up right now.
I apologize sincerely. I was asking that for.
I know. I was excited. Goddamn shit happens. Lockdowns goes in certain the country that I'm going to. So what's the point of going? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm stuck in a country that does nothing.
Who's Ruddy Poo?
Who is this Ruddy Poo?
This is from Ahmed, who Claudio was talking about before.
Ah, there you go.
Ruddy Poo. I don't know.
Ruddy Poo. All right, well, guys, let's do the customs of the week segment.
Yes,
we want to give you guys a bit more, credit for your customs. We're going to get Brutus to write down the names. We're going to go through them. We're finding a better way of doing it so we can talk about your customs a little further in advance. That's why we're doing it a little bit earlier so we can spend a bit more time on it. Should I try and stop the video or keep the video just rolling to the end?
Couldn't you do the images on a side split screen with a fifth one and just click next one or not? I'm not a computer person, so
I'll work on it during the week. Let's play the video this time around, and we'll just have a chat about the figures. So next week we'll try and do it in a bit more in depth.
And now it's time for the guys to look, like, and discuss their favorite customs of the week.
was a lot of customs this week.
I couldn't believe it. It took me ages to do that video. Do you know I spend ages doing that for this podcast?
How did you write that all so quickly? Wow.
So many.
Do you reckon, Sash, next week you can run the video a bit faster?
I had no choice because otherwise it becomes so big that I can't upload it. I already have to do it in 720p for the thing to be able to upload to this podcast. Yeah. If I do it any bigger, then it doesn't even go on. So look,
well, I'll recap the names. Apology if I missed someone, but I think we had Alan Carpenter, Brad Ernst, Daniel Areola with Claudio, Joe Davis, Joe Petka, Sim Bodie, Tom Ward, Red Garfield, Brandon Ward, Peter Poulos, Ahmet Verma, Joe Petka, Red Garfield again, Claudio again, Joe Davis, Alan Carpenter, Shad Gutierrez, Matt Rose, Tony Thorpe, Justin B, not Justin Bent, Justin Bertrand, Joe Davis again, Joe Davis, Ahmet Verma again, Zash Mann, Sin Bodie, Mike Steyer, Brian Bravington, Zash Mann again, and then Jamie Bertrand at the end. A big week for customs.
There must have been 30 customs on there. And do you know what I like most about this customs of the week is the fact that it actually shows you how many customs have been made in a week is phenomenal. Like, we don't realize how many customs actually these guys are doing, in a week. There's always a bunch of customs that are out. So if we are to start a video or show pictures and talk about every one, I think we're going to need a whole bloody podcast in itself to talk about it.
No, a couple minutes, just quick points about them. Like I like Kevin Swill's work because he does guys that they're not the everyday guys that everyone does. Like he showed me the picture. Who do you do? The Rock and Roll Express's son. I forgot his name, but he just did.
Yeah, that last one just.
Yeah, like he just does the most random guys, and he kills it with it. And I actually got his DDP that he put in the Custom Mania competition.
Tracy Smothers.
Right there, yeah, Tracy Smothers. And I actually got Kevin Swills' DDP right there that he entered into the competition.
Yeah, he does some very unusual wrestlers, which is good. Not like really me, good. Hulk Hogan.
No, but you're doing it for the era, like because he's from he knows all the guys. Like I only knew the WWF guys because up here we only had WWF, and you get the odd WCW happening, but it was mainly just WWF around here. So like I didn't know anything about all these other territories. Like I knew they existed, but I never watched them. You know what I'm saying? You'd catch the odd WCW. So like I don't know none of those guys. Like he showed me the guy yesterday. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. I had to Google him. Yeah.
That's a good thing about them as well, because you find out about wrestlers that you never knew about, and you start looking them up and looking into wrestlers that you never knew about.
I think I saw one that. Oh, sorry, Brutus.
No. I was just going to say, Mr. Swales did post a message earlier when Duarte was talking about the prices in 30 years, and he said it's 2021, and I still watch Fritz von Erich, Sputnik, Munro, Bobo, Brazil, etc.
3.
And that's what I was wondering, actually, now that you mentioned that, Brutus, I was going to ask in the forum, in 20 years, let's say, will we be doing Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and current guys from today is what I was thinking of. Because those are all, those are...
given that there's about 943 Mattels of them out.
True. It's true. They're actually, the quality is different.
Look, you'd think so. The one thing about this wrestling toy line is that other things have come and gone because it's a movie or it's an animated series, and they have to struggle to keep the toys going in between. G.I. Joe's been a different thing, and Barbie on the girl side. They've consistently gone. There's been wrestling the whole time, and so while there's wrestling, there'll be wrestling toys and interest in the back lines. But you know, the WWE doesn't seem to be in great shape at the moment. I don't watch any current stuff whatsoever. And people say AEW is quite dynamic and is, and it's good to have a challenger. But if wrestling dies in terms of syndication, if it just becomes local event types of things, then that would be unlikely. But you think the big names they'd still feature and some of the quirkier characters and some of the better wrestlers like Finn Balor is, he's phenomenal and he's got a great face to be customized. But Roman Reigns, I suppose.
Finn Balor is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And Bobby Roode. I like Bobby Roode. He's a good wrestler too right now.
Yeah.
It's mainly because I like their theme songs and their entrances.
I think I don't even know if it's the wrestlers' fault because they seem to be awesome at what they do. They've got some great skills, like much more advanced skills than they ever had back in the 80s, even 90s or whatever. But their skills are phenomenal. But I think it's just the writing and the scripting from the WWE to blame.
Too many pay-per-views. There's too many pay-per-views, and the storyline doesn't exist, right? That's the thing. Like a storyline just lasts for like 2 months. That's what sucks. Like it's got to build up like for like a full year, right? But they face each other like 8 times in that year. Like it's gone. Like the title matches are like every day now. When it was just like the odd time you get it.
There's also belts. I think this championship belts, the 24/7 belt should be just ousted. That's ridiculous. Well, why can these guys just pin them every time without a wrestling match? Like, how many guys doesn't kick up from? They don't even do a move, and all they do is pin them, and they pin them for 3 every time for the 24/7 belt.
Yeah.
What? Why can't they do that in a match then? It takes the whole thing away from it. Sorry, go Brutus.
Oh no, that's interesting. Do they ever like attack them when they're taking a crap or something like that?
They must have done something.
For sure.
I don't get the 24/7 belt. Every time someone pins someone without even doing a move or anything, I think Duarte just had a seizure. You right, mate?
Yeah, I sneezed. I sneezed. I didn't want to sneeze out, so I just held it in.
Very polite. Look, when I've seen, we got some shows on occasionally, and the athletes are phenomenal. And then, they get heat, and then they stop and pick up a microphone. And it's like, I'm going to rip you a new arsehole. And instead of the guy attacking him, he picks up the microphone. And he says, I'm going to do that. And then you think, well, we've got to have a break. And then you come back, match in progress, and you see some great moves. And then someone comes from the crowd, and you think they're going to do a dirty, and they've got a microphone. And they go, and it's like, oh, well, this athletic talent is unbelievable. But, yeah, the storylines. But
I think
a lot of people love it.
Out of it. If they get back to simple wrestling, I think, well, maybe it's just for us old guys. Maybe we're getting too old. Maybe we just like what we used to like, and the younger generation might like this new stuff. But for me, they've taken the simplicity of the actual wrestling out of it, and it's like become a drama series.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't watch today's market anyways. I don't think I've watched wrestling in like months.
It's so much more fun to watch the old promos from the old Survivor Series teams from the 80s, just the 80s and beginning of 90s. You don't even need to watch.
Look what they were on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
they were allowed to do whatever they wanted then, right? They were having fun. You don't think Macho Man behind those glasses wasn't going crazy? Come on, man. They were allowed to do what they wanted.
The funniest promo I've seen, and I keep watching it, is the one with Macho Man, Zeus, and Sherry, where Sherry goes up the cage. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. It's hilarious. I think they were all 3 of them must have been coked up or something.
Sherry is such a talent in the ring and outside. Such a talent. And I think the annals of history will recognize that Sherry was a significant part in that transition and crossover. But yeah, they were pretty interesting back then. But you can't beat Iron Sheik spitting on the crowd, and you
can't do that. Like a lot of stuff. Then you
singing the national anthem with Jim Duggan sitting in the front row, so and all that sort of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the things they did back then, you watch it like, oh man, they can't do that. So when I was actually doing Akeem, I'm like, do I post this or not? Is it because that character today would not work at all? But I find it so hilarious. So I was doing Akeem because I always found it an interesting, funny character, and maybe he didn't enjoy doing it, but he looked so happy doing it. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
let's do the figure. But
I remember when Slick said, "I'm going to introduce you the first heavyweight black champion of the WWF," and you're like, what? You know, even then, and Akim's going, yeah.
And his promos are just classic.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Akeem personally, but it's not for everyone, and I understand that. But for me personally, I thought it was fun. Brutus is going to find something for us. Come on, Brutus. What
is he getting?
See what Brutus has.
He has an Akeem, I guess. Look at that.
Oh,
he's opening up a live unboxing or a packaging.
Live unboxing. How many customs do I have?
I'm gonna say 6.
Not lower.
Wow. 1.
Are we talking?
Oh,
Are we talking
2.
digital customs or real customs?
Technically 2, because I got a Nick Hale's Matilda a while back. But there we go. Now you guys are experts. If you can identify the maker of that, this is
Nick
the
Hale.
first actual custom figure I've held in my hands and seen for real. They're fantastic. They're great.
Am I right though?
Yep, Nick Hale's. But I'm not going to get started on the customs because once you start, where do you stop?
Why did you just open it then? Why haven't you opened it yet? Who can sit there with a Nick Hale's custom in a box and not look at it? Come on!
Yeah. When the package is at the door, I get happy.
It's about 4 months old, so I collect up here.
Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. Never send Brutus a gift. He might never open it.
He goes, okay, I'll open it later. Then opens it. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta open this.
4 months. I mean, when I get packages,
what else is he opening up there?
Yeah, seriously.
Since we're on this,
like one of my boxes.
What is that? Is it? Brutus,
I think you'll need
is that the mail away? Is that the mail away slaughter? You finally got it?
Boxes. It's probably so old.
I think you'll need a podcast just for unboxing everything that he's got.
It's really bodgy packaging. I think it is mine. Oh, I said that to you bloody 6 months to a year ago.
Is that the missing link?
It is.
Yeah.
Missing link. He's been in.
What else is he opening up? I wish I had packages hidden in my house.
That's not mine.
That's a Nick Hale's, no?
Oh, you
that looks like.
You can pull my pants up, yeah. That's what my wife.
Where's he opening up now? Just don't cut your finger.
Sure. I'm not sure if I should open this one up.
Well, it looks like you are sure.
Yeah, you're slicing and dicing right there.
What is that?
It looks like he has some mint on card he's got.
You know what? What is wrong with you? When did you get this? How long ago did you get this? March.
Oh,
Just send him an empty box, guys. If he orders anything, you'll never know.
Wow.
Huh? What? I haven't opened this since March.
From New Zealand?
Phenomenal.
And you needed that one, eh?
Yeah, well, since then I haven't earned any money. So, and that one, I think I didn't open it because it cost a lot of money. And I was embarrassed.
Yeah, but you waited until now. What if there was nothing in there?
What if it was damaged?
Trust the people.
I know. But imagine you go, you open up the box, you're like, what the fuck? Empty box. All you see is a smashed computer right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Bring back Sid. Don't suplex your computer. Yes.
Maybe you can unbox something every week for us, Brutus. I'm sure you've got plenty there.
One up there. Yeah, well, there's a sealed box up there.
You should make it a segment.
Oh, I think a new segment coming on. Brutus unboxing. We just
Look at
wasted.
that. There you
I don't
go.
think a box. I don't think a box has lasted maybe 5 minutes on top of my counter.
Me neither. I love it.
I get the knife out right away.
I'm a patient man.
No way.
That's
No
wow.
way.
That's admirable. It really is. Because I'm like Duarte and Zash. As soon as I get a box, I need to open it. As soon as the moment I get it.
Well, a new segment's coming on this show, the Brutus unboxing.
What does Brutus have in his room?
A part of the reason was I did need to keep a lot of stuff boxed because I had to move from the middle room into this room, and this room the ceiling had to be repaired. And with lockdowns, it was very hard to get someone to do the stuff. And I did give you there's all the business infrastructure as well, which you can't see very well, but it doesn't matter. So for that black card, it was better to keep it in its package rather than get damaged. And then I had to get the vaults and then get this set up, and it's not set up properly. So it was just better to keep it there because it wasn't worth risking. Now I'll put it away and sticky tape back up for 10 more years' time.
Is that a really rare figure, Brutus?
I would say, Black Series ones, especially those.
Yep, it's got a bit of damage.
Which one do you think is the most rare? The Macho Man, no?
Well, in terms of how many are available, it is this. In terms of value, it's the Macho Man on his own bio card.
Wow, so the $1 Million Man black card has the most. So that should be the most valuable. But smart.
No, because he's not most in demand because people want the Macho Man more. So, and that's why
Not the Adonis.
P1.
No,
the Adonis.
Not the.
There was a few around a few years ago. I think Adonis is probably the second least supplied that's still carded. So DBRC is the least around, the Adonis the second. But there's a few Macho Men, and because there's the Hogan bio and Macho Man on his own bio. And do you want to guess what they would trade for in the silent super collector market? A Macho Man, good condition, own bio.
Like the black card one?
Yeah.
Like how much a black card Macho Man? I think I would say at least in like 2, 3, 4, 5,000.
I'm guessing 3,000.
2,000?
20.
What?
20,000 for black card. Jesus.
Wow.
I would sell it right away. I would sell it right away if I found it.
And no one's going to put that online. I just bought this and paid 20,000 US for it. And they're the super collectors, and they're in the forums. You don't hear from them much, but they're waiting for that one figure to pop up, like a Macho Man on own bio, or an Adonis, or a DBRC. And then they jump, and they've got the money there and waiting. I don't know where they get the money from, but they've got patient.
They're just waiting. You're
not.
They're just waiting to buy it. But I tell you right now, if I find a Macho Man black card, I am immediately selling it because I do not care for the mint on cards. And if someone offered me 20,000,
that's
gone for that black card.
That's for own bio. Right, Macho Man with the Hulk Hogan bio is different. You'll get far less for that.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, because
some of them have different bios.
A lot of the black cards have the Hulk Hogan bio.
Oh, okay.
Right, Macho, you can find him on the Hulk Hogan bio a little bit, not all that common, but with his own bio card, that's that top notch one. That's that top level.
What about the other one? How much would that be worth? The one with the Hogan card?
We'll start at 5.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
And what about the Ted? I'm not asking what you paid for it, but what's something like that valued at?
Oh well, the DBRC, mine's got a bit of card damage, and so I took the chance because I'm never likely to find one. And I started the year okay, and then the business just fell in a huge hole. And if I had my time back, I wouldn't have bought it, but that's too bad. 8 to 10.
Jesus.
Wow.
So if
yeah.
So that's up for sale now, I'm guessing, because your business is shit.
Oh no, I just keep it, and if it's shit in 2 years in a row, it might be a different story.
12 grand.
What?
Money talks.
Money
Send your
talks.
comments. 12 grand. Do we hear 12 grand? That's 12 grand. 12 grand to be.
No. This has got some damage. This isn't worth that. So
You should ask on the forum, how much is this worth, guys?
Yeah. that you could ask because no one has.
Oh, Joe Petker's happy to offer 25K for that. So thanks, Joe.
Wow.
I'll send it over. Yep.
I think
Send it over. Send it over, Brutus.
Oh, well, that was a pretty fun way to wind up the show, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Right, and thanks, Sash. These are great. As I said, the first time I've actually told them the amount of work you guys do. I mean, I've studied lots of digital images and things, and but they're magnificent works. You customizers should be proud of yourselves. And I don't know how you do it for the price.
He's
Seriously.
You know that you can't play with customs, right, Brutus? He's an amateur with customs, guys. Forgive him. Well, you guys want to finish up the show with anything? Claudio, what do you got planned for the next week, mate? Bring out any customs for us?
I want to, like I said, this Vader. Then, like I was telling people, I have too many ideas for my own good. So we'll see where it takes me. As I work on one, I get another idea. I see a picture. I want to do it. We'll see where it goes. There's a whole whip. We'll see what's next.
Yeah, man. It's lots of work. Just have fun with it.
Do you guys show your whips, or are you?
They're down. They're in my basement, actually.
Yes, so my whips are in my basement too.
Not those kind of. The ones I have here right now are this one. I
never like to show whips.
I have this Piper that I've been working on. This is a head from Amit that I got. I just swapped the head. I just got this one from. I spoke to Caleb, and then Kevin Pelkey made me the 3D print of the Undertaker and had an extra cowboy hat. So
Very
I
cool.
can't wait to work on this one.
Good.
Undertaker is my all-time favorite. So anytime I
Kids
see
always have an
Undertaker,
accessory. I think we discussed this, that every figure should come with an accessory, even if it's a towel. They came in with something, you know.
well, that's why when I made the Perfect, I mean, the Mr. Perfect was there. I said, you know what? Let me just add an extra towel because he always came in with that towel, and you add it, and it gives it a different.
Just
different...
like how Caleb and I just did the Inoki with the towel.
Exactly.
Like, that's a pretty just that alone. It's incredible. Like adding an addition, it's always incredible to the figure. Like adding the hat or a microphone or anything,
exactly.
Right?
I wanted to give Crush the coconut. You remember he used to crush coconuts to show that he was. Should have done it.
So, dude, there's always that extra little bit of epoxy left. So slowly start building it, right?
Yeah,
a little bit here, a little bit, just keep rounding it off. Right?
Yeah. I always have this leftover epoxy. I'm like, what can I do with it? What do I need? I must need something. Half the time you just put it on the bench, it just goes hard. It's gone.
Might as well if you're making Undertaker, make an urn out of it, right? You got enough epoxy to make urns, and that's the best way to waste it. Or
that's exactly what I.
Or make microphones.
That's what I did with the pallbearers with the extra clay that was left. I used the crazy glue cap, and that's how I made the urn that he actually has in the picture. So, yeah.
He didn't want to go back to the box.
Brutus is on fire tonight. He's had a cracking show. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us, Claudio.
Thank you for having me.
Mate, we really appreciate you being on the show. Thank you to everyone for watching.
Thank you. My wife has just come home. This is going back in the box.
She's gonna look at eBay and go, $1 Million Man, Black Art Series. Dio Cane.
Yeah.
I think he's safe. If his wife is anything like my wife, she won't be watching the show.
No.
No.
Yep. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, no worries. Look, we might do another prize next week, but yeah, we appreciate everyone watching, and we'll catch you all next week.